Hey guys, what's going on?
I know it's been a little while. I apologize. I just got wrapped up in replaying the game. That's the only excuse I have. But I felt like doing another build video. I am going to do the Swin Nadia video soon. Like I said I would, but I kind of felt like doing a build guide on Feri because she's a character that is kind of unusual in the scope of this game, especially in Horizon. Now, in Daybreak 1, she was kind of like this debuffing DPS character. She had a lot of area of effect stuff. She did high damage and she had burn chance. Innate burn chance, which is good. And then, in Daybreak 2, they started turning her into a support DPS when they gave her Chance of Flame here, as you can see on her crafts menu. So, in this game, where she is now, I think Feri in Horizon best fits is being maybe the game's only viable plaguer, if you don't know what that means. There's a character archetype that in the Trails games that we find sometimes works called a plaguer, where you basically create a character that does nothing but stack status effects. And Cold Steel, this is like a really broken archetype of character because they can literally, some characters like Sharon can literally inflict every single status effect in the game on one target or multiple targets, and you can just cripple enemy parties, right? Well, you're not going to be doing that in this game. Daybreak did a pretty good job of destroying the Plaguer archetype, but Feri is creeping into being able to do it. So we're going to talk about how we're going to start with her. So we're going to start with the gear first. So I have, of course, her ultimate weapon here. So I really like Hermes double S for her, but it depends. The thing is, Feri benefits from having speed. Hermes double S is the highest speed subpart in the game, so we're going to give that to her. Now, when it comes to armor, same thing. We want to prioritize anything that gives her arts or physical damage, anything that gives her speed, and anything that gives her critical hit rate. So, for end game, I put a Serene Cross on her, and then for shoes, if you want to give up the Strega Ragnarok, then you can give that to her. If you don't want to do that, then Bandage Boots are about the best late game you get for speed, I believe. Yeah, looks like it. So we're going to put Bandage Boots on her, but if you want, actually no, we'll just put the Strega Ragnarok for the purposes of this video on her. Now, when it comes to this, her slots, or her accessories, this is where it can get kind of tricky. So, she does fulfill a pretty powerful support role because for a new S-Craft, Breath of Ishtar, which allows her to give her 200 maxed out CP to the party, and it doesn't give them 200, but I think it gives them 150, right? So that's pretty obviously useful. And Feri does not need her CP a whole lot because as she levels up her crafts, they become super cheap. And she also just kind of like gains CP hella fast. You'll see why. First of all, she's an easy mode burst to gain 2 character. She gets it really easily. So we're going to start first with I really like blade emblems on her. We're going to put a blade emblem on her, and then either a true soul belt, a true gladiator headband. True soul belt also might be the macho belt in the American or the Western localization. I'm not sure what it's called in the Western localization yet because I haven't gotten that far. But we're gonna. So you either want to put a true soul belt on her for additional CP generation, or you might want to put a Regalia Mantle on her if you want to balance out her physical and magic damage. You might want to put a Planet Ring on her, just like spike her speed stat. Albion Charm is also very good on her if you want to do that. I would recommend doing that too. an accessory I don't have, and let me go to the shop here, that I missed the items for. This is still my initial playthrough. This isn't like a New Game Plus file, by the way. But one thing I missed the ability to get was, let's see if I can find it, this accessory here, the Tyrant Belts. So Tyrant Belts is probably the best second accessory to get for Feri if you're playing through the game. And on my replay, in the localization, this is what I have on her. I have the Gladiator headband on her, and I have a Tyrant Belt on her. Or I have a Blade Crest Plus on her and the Tyrant Belt. So, but if you don't have a Tyrant Belt, if you miss the accessories required for that, then I would do a Blade Emblem Plus, and then probably just do an Albion Charm. So, let's talk about her ornament. So, I put Pukel on her. I think this holocore, if you don't value the Shard Command, which is garbage, just the generic shield rise, this is probably the best holocore for her. As you can see, it buffs like everything about her that she wants. She's like an all-in offensive character to begin with, so I have no problem committing her to that, right? So, first of all, she gets a brain dead easy burst gain 2. Because all we're going to do is going to put Smog in her fire slot, in her attack line. And then we're going to go, let's see, let me find it. We're going to give her an Oracle. This is important. This is going to pan out. So what we want burst gain 2. And we want to see if we can get both Shield and Swordbreaker. This is actually relatively possible if you're smart. So we're going to put a good year on her. And so now, as you can see, we're 1 Earth Point and 1 Space Point away. And thankfully, we have this. Post delay is 1.2 times longer, but damage is increased by 30%. This gives her Fatal Lance, Burst Gain 2, Swordbreaker, and Shieldbreaker EX. So, we'll get to the rest of this later, but this is a pretty good way to get her running, up and running here. So, second of all, when it comes to a defense line, we want Auto Forte, and we want Auto Impassion Guard if possible. So, the problem is she doesn't have a good defense line, right? She's not intended to do that. So, here's what we do. First, I give her a white silver ring, and that gets her to 5 Mirage points, so she can give Auto Forte. And then, we're going to give her a ruby ring, and that gives her the 5 she needs for Auto Impassion Guard. Now, actually no, I'm changing my mind on the spot here. We're just going to do it like this. So, if you have to prioritize anything, prioritize Auto Forte over Auto Impassion. So, white silver ring, Crimson Pearl Bracelet would be like ideal here. And then, let's look at what we have left, right? So we only need 2 fire points. So you could probably do something like this to throw on and get that easily. And then she gets some good she gets status resistance perks. Now, we're also going to build her towards being an Arc Feather or a Judgment Feather user because she's really good at that too. So we're going to give her a Durandal. This gives you, if you have a character that has a Mirage slot in their magic line, Durandal instantly gives them Judgment Feather. Right? Maximum efficiency when it comes to that. And then, just like we were going for with her attack line, we're going to go for Mind and Spirit Breaker so that whenever she casts an art, she also debuffs, right? So, the way I like to achieve this, and obviously we want to get the EXs if we can, right? So the way I like to achieve this specific one is first we're going to go here. We want to put a Goliath on her, for sure. And let's see where we are. And we're going to go here. And where is it? Yeah, we're going to give her a march here. And then that leaves 5 Earth points for this. So let's look and see if we can give her a secret vein. This also makes her a really good farming for Sepith character, by the way. So now she has Swordbreaker and Shieldbreaker EX, and she has Mine and Spearbreaker EX, and she has Judgment Feather, and she has Burst Gate 2, and Fatal Lance, and All Forte Guard. And then for her final line, this is kind of tough, but we want to go with Prometheus here. She's actually, if you do this right, and if you keep her up and running correctly, you won't have to really worry about this. And then what we want for this is we want Auto Quick. This is not hard to get at all. Let's see if we can find something. Yeah. We'll get Hecate also, or Hecate, because this guarantees she's buffed and damaged no matter what health state she's at, right? And as you can see, she gets Quick Start, Mystical Start, Powerful Start 2, Phantom Start 2, Golden Eye, Leg Breaker Barrage, Auto Forte, and Auto Quick. And then we're going to go for Leg Breaker Barrage because we're going to give her either a Mute if you want to go that way, or you just want to give her like a hit 3, just give her increased critical hit chance. And then we're going to give her a Burn 2. Now, if you want to do something else, if you don't care about getting Enhanced Leg Breaker Barrage, which is kind of not necessary, I like to go with Corrosion 2. So the reason that this is good is because this makes it so that whenever she potentially gets lucky, because the thing is, your status effect inflicting chance goes up whenever you S-boost, right? Well, what that amounts to is that she's inflicting double damage over time status effects on enemies. And surprisingly, a lot of even endgame bosses are weak to both of these status effects, if not one of them. So she's at least guaranteed to inflict one or the other, right? So we have this set up for her, right? Now, arts, we have a lot of options here. Like, she can be a legitimate caster in this game as well. She is both a debuffing caster and a good, like, physical attacker, right? So, there are a few arts drivers that I like to use with her, but if we really want to, you can just equip one of the freestyle, arch drivers. So probably the best one is Innocence. And the reason is you get Argent Thorn, and that's a debuff, right? And we want to focus entirely on things that inflict status effects, right? So Thanatos Jail, anything that has the status effect plus or double plus modifier on it. Now we're going to do Abyss Flame because it inflicts 2 status effects, right? Actually, let's look through here. Yeah, so do Crystal Eden, Thanatos Jail, Abyss Flame. Yeah, let's leave one Tyrant Storm, Pluto's Nova, or Obsidian Ray. If you want to stick with cheaper ones and just go for like reduced chance but for stats effect ward, you can do that. So like with her, if you wanted to, you can just go like Acid Cloud, Icicle Hammer. Let's see what we got here. Saint Arrow. And then finally, obviously, Jabberwock on, right? Now, you don't have to go this way if you don't want to. Another setup I like to use on her, is to go this way, is we make use of the dual arts, because the dual arts are full of crowd control. So, Golden Gale, Soul Flare, Ivy Frost, Desert Edge, Forest Smasher, Rock Gravity, and Glacial Heat. Right? So, every time she casts a spell, she's both inflicting both the Mind Spirit Breaker EX, and she's inflicting status effects. Right? So, we are leaning fully into the idea of her just being a plaguer, like I said. We're just all in on this concept. And, and we like the increased critical chance on some of this stuff, like her accessories and stuff, because I think critical hits make the chance of inflicting the status effect higher. Now, if you don't want to lean on critical hit chance, and you just want her to do damage, that's fine, in which case, we'll just give her both a staff and a blade emblem. That works for her too. So now, how I like to do these things. I like to go in to the arena, and we like to just see how far we can get in a given fight with just her. I'm actually going to do Dirty Ladies first, because I want to show especially the crowd control potential of her. So, what I'd like to do for short commands is Ultimate Wind. And then we're going to double S burst, and let's see just what we get here when we do like Rapid Tempest. So Rapid Tempest is what we're going to do 90% of the time. We're just going to do Rapid Tempest and Kurga Guardian Sword. Actually, let's start Kurga Guardian Sword. Let's do that. And then, look at that. Look at all those debuffs. And now we're going to do Rapid Tempest. So, look at all those debuff icons. So, I'm just going to defend here. And she has enough natural evade. So she's back up to 200 CP. Look at this, right? So we'll do Ishtar Breath. Right? So now everyone's pumped up. She's going to get her CP back. Once again, she can dodge pretty well. Especially because she can inflict blind easily. So then we'll do something like this. Do a Zoc spell cast of like this. Of course, she is Arc Feather. And they'll get hit with status effects again. So, personally, so when we play these games, I like to try new parties. So I was inspired to do this because I'm like, okay, I've never really given Feri a serious shot in the Daybreak games. Let me just mess around with her and see what I can actually make work with her. And this is what I ended up coming up with. And she's turned out to be the MVP, or one of the MVPs of my Nightmare replay through this game. I mean, look at all of those debuffs. Like, she just cripples enemy parties. Now, other characters could do this, right? But the thing is, she has Rapid Tempest, which is dirt cheap CP cost-wise. It allows her to use Breath of Ishtar practically, right? Normally, I don't consider it to be something that's like worth engaging with, but here you can. And of course, if you want to, you can always do Ignis Rampage, which is a pretty good ass craft. I should have done I should have known it was a 0 arc turn. I would have done a spell instead, but like, you're getting the idea here, right? Like, she's excellent at playing this kind of role. Like, she just completely cripples enemies. Now, another thing about her, and this is where the meat of this video is actually going to be, is Feri is one of the first characters I can think of in these games where you can build a party around her to maximize her effectiveness or her efficiency. So, I'm going to show that off here. Now keep in mind, this is on Nightmare. I haven't modified her in any way. She's not received a single droplet of any kind beyond what you gain from food and what you gain from bonding events. She has been modified in any way, right? So now we're going to talk about like what would a party look like, especially in Van's route, that optimizes her. So, and this is important because in Van Route 3 and onward, the game jumps up super high in difficulty. So, we're going to talk about that. So, when it comes to Van's route, you're going to want her, you're going to want Van, you're going to want Judith, and the last slot is flexible, but I would put Reset in there. And, so you build Aggro Tank Reset, Evade Tank Van, and then, of course, you build Judith to do Broken Judith ship. And them riding off of the back of Feri built like this is crazy. But she's actually become one of my favorite party members in the game, actually replaying it. But yeah, I thought you guys might enjoy this one. It's a little different from like what I usually do. But I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you liked it. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that. And yeah, tell me what you think about this character. I think some people have always thought of her as underwhelming. Yeah, I might agree with you, but I don't necessarily think she is in this game. I think she's pretty cracked, actually. And she can get cracked really quick because, of course, you can get, corrosion and burn started on pretty early on. And, yeah, like, she's just a fantastic character in this game, I think. But, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys tuning in for watching these build guides. Leave in the comments what characters you want to see builds for that I haven't done yet. And I will catch you guys later.